What if drone is able to cut down that time? Think about Manila, Jakarta. Traffic is crazy, right? Food is stuck. How do you make sure that drone is able to cut down literally the traffic and bring your food in no time? I think nothing exemplifies more on hunger as compared to our CEO. He's continuously hungry, continuously working hard, super high energy, and he keeps pushing the boundaries.
So, being a part of Grab for many years, tell us your personal experience on the evolution of Grab over the years. Hello, listeners. When Grab started in 2012, it was a simple idea to make it safer and easier for Southeast Asia to get a ride. Fast forward 13 years, they are more than that. They are a super app. Today, they offer deliveries, they have digital banking, and so much more. Today's conversation is how Grab continuously evolves. And here with us today, we have Sumit Kumar, who is a senior product leader at Grab. All right, welcome, Sumit. Thank you for doing this. You've been around for most of Grab's journey. Tell us what stands out in that journey for you.
Sure, happy to do that. Thank you for having me here. Quite excited to be speaking about Grab's journey and specifically the evolution of the journey and how that has been enabled, which is the key focus of my talk. What I really stands out for me is its mission towards really empowering and enabling the lives of Southeast Asian citizens, whether they are consumers, driver partners, or merchant partners. What has stood out is how so many people from so many countries, I remember at last count, Grab had people from more than 40 to 50 nationalities are aligned towards this mission, started by Anthony and his co-founder Ling 13 years ago, and still that fire is going on. Uh, I think that's very powerful. And as a result of this mission, we have been able to deliver some very good products, in Southeast Asia, which truly can compete with the global benchmarks like Uber or DoorDash or Meituan or Didi in China or Swiggy or Zomato in India. And I think that is something which we all can be really proud of.
Yes, thank you, Sumit. So, being a part of Grab for many years, tell us your personal experience on the evolution of Grab over the years.
Sure. This takes me back to the days in which when I joined. I remember I joined in June 2018, and it was 2 to 3 months after we had acquired Uber Southeast Asia business, which was a massive movement in Grab's short history at that point of time. And and people in Southeast Asia used to miss Uber. Uber had a great product, and our task was cut out to make sure that we prove that we are worthy enough to be able to provide transport services to our consumers and provide employment to the driver partners. So we worked hard, we put our heads down and ensured that we achieved at par with what was available to the consumers of Southeast Asia. And at that time, that was the only business we had. Food delivery was a failed experiment. And now, if you look at it, food delivery has come a long way. Definitely, COVID did provide a massive trigger upside to the food delivery business. Grocery delivery has made some decent inroads, though we are very, very far away from where many other countries in the world stand on grocery delivery. And then payments and financial services. No one have give us a chance that if there are so many banks in every single country, what businesses Grab have to start their payments and financial services business? But we have proved that there is a lot of value which we can provide to, again, consumers, drivers, and merchant partners.
Yes, so Sumit, you'll be sharing at FuseCon, and the topic is building to enable continuous evolution perspective. So I think at the heart of Grab is innovation. All right, can you give us the approach Grab has towards innovation?
That's a very good question. Innovation can be defined or can be construed in many different ways. Uh, There are so many powerful theories, powerful innovations which have happened in the history of mankind. There are still so much research, PhD scientists doing a lot of innovation, pharmaceutical innovation, and I can go on and on, right? So, what kind of innovation is Grab doing? And I think at the heart of it, what I truly believe, the word innovation to us means that if there is a problem being faced by the consumer or the driver or the merchant, how effectively and how fast are we able to solve that problem? And that's innovation. By using technology, even by using not process, right? And the aim of the organization is always to keep pushing the bar higher and higher, that if we were able to solve this class of problems using this kind of technology 2 years ago, can we take it one step further and leverage the next frontier in technology? I'll give a simple example. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard that across the world, now there are drones and robots making food delivery, right? Now that's innovation, right? But the innovation also lies that how can we make that work for the use case of Southeast Asia? And that requires innovation.
Yeah, one of the things I really like about Grab, I'm an early user. I've used it, I think, since the day when Uber was around. What I really appreciate is when you said Southeast Asia is the localization. I remember they were the first to have promo codes that were localized, with the local promo code words. So, what is the approach when it comes to localization? And you are in different markets from Malaysia to Thailand to Singapore. What is the localization that you see?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's a continuous challenge which we need to keep surmounting. So the way we think about localization is that, yes, all our 8 markets are very different in terms of the consumer dynamics, in terms of regulations, in terms of this just a geographical construct, right? But having said that, we also cannot afford to build a very different product for every single market. So as an example, if there is a certain way food delivery happens in Singapore, we cannot make it super further away from that the way it happens in Indonesia. So the way we think about it is in terms of platforms, in terms of systems. So we build platforms in such a manner which power our ride hailing, our food delivery, our payments ecosystems by a regionalization principle where it works for 80% of the cases, and then rest 20% we always allow that level of customization. So as an example, in Thailand market, if consumers really like this concept of claiming the vouchers and collecting the vouchers, then we will do that. But that will be built on a platform which can enable other ways by which consumers can use vouchers, because the other markets might be very different in terms of using the vouchers. So that's just one example where the platform exists for the entire region and in fact for the globe if we want to, but then there is flexibility to build local tailored solutions on top of that.
Wow, that's very insightful. So you said this to me. You said your sharing at FuseCon is not about what things has changed, but how Grab has enabled continuous change. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, the reason why I decided to be very specific about this topic is obviously if a company has been operating for such a decent amount of time frame, and if the company has been able to achieve good success, then yes, company has evolved, right? But that's not the point. The point is that what did the organization do to enable that continuous evolution? Because I believe that evolution can happen in two different ways. Number one, it can happen in very big chunks, where you are stable for a while and then suddenly a trigger happens, either external or internal, and then you change. And then you are stable for a while, right? But the other way, what Anthony And our executive team keeps saying that we have to be 1% better every single day, right? And I think that's very powerful. You don't wait for those aha moments where suddenly you will make a leapfrog from point A to point B. It's not that you are suddenly going from being an ape to suddenly becoming a man. You are suddenly discovered fire, right? Or you have suddenly discovered space. Those are leapfrog innovations, right? But we believe that if an organization needs to keep evolving, it has to be a continuous evolution. And hence, what are the systems and what are the processes to enable that continuous evolution is something which I would like to talk about.
And can you give us an example? You said that innovation is a daily thing, not a big change, right? So some of the examples that you have when it comes to improving that 1% every day.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at let's talk about people, right? Behind every successful company or not that successful company, there lies two things, right? A, whether the company was operating in the right space, whether the space was big enough, whether it had the right strategy to operate in that space and compete with the competition, and whether it had the right people to execute. So I'd like to focus on the third aspect of it, right? That how did Grab ensure that people are continuously improving, continuously evolving as per the needs of the job are changing. And that has truly been reflected in how we manage the performance of us. So I'll give you an example, right? Grab used to have a system of rewarding people with bonuses. Every company has, right? And we used to have this rating system where everyone will receive a numerical rating out of scale of 1 to 5 based upon feedback given by people who you have worked with. And based upon that rating, everyone will receive a different bonus. Now, Grab realized that the way we are set up, what we need to compete is that one Grab has to work together. That means the incentives of the entire organization must be aligned. And Grab made a drastic change. They got rid of this system. They decided that if a company has achieved their corporate OKRs, if their top level goals, then everyone in the organization will receive the same bonus percentage. Now, if you think about it, it's quite a drastic change, right? But that was an example of an organization acknowledging that something which works for 90% of the companies does not work for us. And hence, it's the right thing to change. Now, that's evolution for me.
Wow. So it's more focused on the organizational goals rather than the individual goals that contribute to the bonuses. Am I right?
Exactly.
Okay. So speaking about that, that's how you foster that culture of innovation. So you mentioned systems as well. Let's get there. What systems can you share with us?
The systems of one system is this enabling continuous feedback. So we have a very strong mechanism of ensuring that people can provide feedback to anyone with the help of anytime feedback system, apart from the usual 6 months performance management system. The way we do calibration of individuals across our organization, we ensure that people are being rewarded in a very fair manner, in a very transparent manner, equally across various parts of the organization. So that is really powerful. The other aspect is our matrix structure, right? So we have a complicated organization structure because that's what our needs of the market demand us to be, where we have country heads for each of the countries. And then we have the regional teams on the business side and the regional teams on the tech side. Now, there are three distinct parts of the organization. And the way these three parts of the organization work together with each other as is driven by a system of collaboration processes as well as OKRs. And that is all very carefully thought through. And more importantly, We keep evolving on the mental models for these OKRs and processes to collaborate with each other as soon as we realize there is some inefficiencies into it. And this is what I call as systems. Yes, there are technology systems which enable our platforms, our products, but they are as equally important as these systems, which I call as people systems. How do people coming from 50 different nationalities, having different cultures, work together in unison? That requires a system.
Wow, thanks for sharing. So you mentioned culture. So let's paint a picture here. If someone who has not worked for Grab before and came to you, how would you describe Grab's culture?
Sure, I think this is where some of the things which Grab has institutionalized really helps. So there are 4 values which all of Grabbers really abide by. There is heart, there is honor, there is hunger, and there is humility. Heart indicates that if someone needs your help, you will step up and help. And I spoke about the common organizational goals, common OKRs, which provide an incentive system for people to help each other. But it is also re-emphasized by having heart as one of the value system. Then comes hunger. I think nothing exemplifies more on hunger as compared to our CEO. He's continuously hungry, continuously working hard, super high energy, and he keeps pushing the boundaries. And that enables us, that inspires us to keep pushing the boundaries. Humility. If someone has given you feedback, are you acknowledging the feedback? Are you working on the feedback? Are you improving yourself? I personally have become a very different, and I would like to believe a much better individual over the last 7 years because I worked on the feedback which was given to me. So that shows humility and honor, which is where it comes down to, are you doing the right thing? Not just to your own individual people in the company, but also for the consumers. Are you charging them extra fees without telling them? That's not the right thing to do. So those are the 4 things which are truly part of Grab's culture. And I wish I could stack rank them, which one is more important than the another, but actually it's not. All 4 are equally important. And I think that's what I would like to describe Grab's culture by.
You mentioned the CEO. What is your experience working with the leadership?
Intense, that's one word which comes to my mind. Uh, it's continuously ongoing. There is every day is a day full of action. You know what I mean? A lot of things keep happening. It is also thanks to the competitive dynamics of our industry. We are also in multiple industries. Each of our industries, each of our countries have different competitive players. Everyone is trying to win over market share. So that's exciting. It's still a growing company.
Mhm.
Our aspirations are high, so we keep trying out new things. We keep trying to open up new market segments. So as a result of that, things keep moving very fast, and hence no day is a boring day, which is frankly one of the strongest reasons why I am still at Grab and enjoying my work after 7 years.
Wow. So after 7 years, you said you have changed, you have absorbed feedback. What changes do you see in yourself?
I think I have become more balanced. uh, I have improved my empathy levels. I have become more conscious of different types of cultures. Having spent majority of my time in India and some time in US, there are certain guiding principles professionally and personally which you come with. Southeast Asia is different. People are different, right? And how do you evolve yourself, adapt yourself to various different kinds of people is something which I have learned over the years. How to manage large teams, how to manage people without influence. As I mentioned, it's a matrix organization. So not everyone is in your line of command, but you still have to get work done. So how do you get work done, even if people are not reporting to you? So those are some of the things which I'm truly grateful for learning at Grab.
Okay. And can you share something that you're working on or any innovation that's coming up for Grab?
Sure, I would love to talk about drones.
Oh,
We are we are definitely trying to launch drone delivery in Southeast Asia. There are various exciting use cases. Uh, think about Bali Islands, right? It takes a lot of time for food to arrive, especially if you want to order from a restaurant which is far away, but you really want to have it. What if drone is able to cut down that time? Think about Manila, Jakarta. Traffic is crazy, right? Food is stuck. How do you make sure that drone is able to cut down literally the traffic and bring your food in no time? Obviously, we have to work very closely with the regulators, which we are doing to make sure that it is within the safety standards, right? So it's exciting times.
mm,
Regulators are very open to the idea. They're all keenly looking at what is happening in US and China, especially, and some parts of Europe. And we are trying to learn from there and trying to see, again, coming back to the point that innovation, what kind of product, what kind of drone delivery will work for Southeast Asia. So stay tuned. It will be coming to some parts of Southeast Asia very soon.
I'm based in KL. Is it coming anytime here soon?
Not in KL, unfortunately, but in other few markets, yes.
Okay, cool. And you spoke about these are interesting times. So, of course, these times are with innovation comes the buzzword nowadays, which is AI. So, how do you see AI playing a role in Grab?
I think AI is everywhere, right? And
Mm,
it's when I say AI is going to be everywhere, I think it's an understatement. And we are all still learning what all AI can do. At least from the perspective of my job, uh, product managers in my team are able to build prototypes, are able to showcase their ideas in a much more simple manner by using prototypes instead of documents. There is this famous saying that now we need to go from memo to demo. Let's not talk about an idea using long pages. Let's talk about an idea using a prototype. And now people can do that. Anyone in the business team, even if you don't know much of technology, you can still do a prototype of an idea. And that's very powerful, right? And that's just starting point, right? AI is being used to increase productivity of all the functions, whether it's an engineer or a product manager or a marketing person. Jobs of marketing people have become so easy because the content creation is super easy now, right? Job of a designer. So I think we are just trying to scratch the surface and figuring out what all can happen, and the things are evolving so fast in the world of AI that we are also trying to catch up. That okay, this is happening, so now let's see how it can be applied to certain parts of Grab. So yes, exciting days, definitely. And yeah, it will become part of our everyday life, both professionally and personally. uh, it has already become that. I am a heavy user of ChatGPT. I have literally asked all my questions to ChatGPT. So yeah.
Thank you, Sumit, for sharing with us your personal journey and also all the innovation that's coming ahead from AI to drones. So, I'll see you at the FuseCon on the 1st and 2nd October. For more details, check out fusecon.asia.